Hey everybody, welcome to this 9th edition, I do believe, of Restoring the Republic. And so we got a special edition I want to talk to you a little bit about. So I went up to New York to spend some time with the President Donald Trump and to go into the courtroom with him. So with that, let's play the clip from the press conference, then we'll talk about my trip, what I observed, and we'll go from there.
You know, if I started a story with a convicted felon and a hooker walk into a bar, you would immediately know that it's a joke. Well, that's what we have here, a joke of a trial. This is not a prosecution, this is a persecution. We have a two-tier justice system in this country, and if a former president can be targeted by a woke and corrupt judge, then you can be targeted as well. Mr. President, we've got your back. Thank you. You know, if I started a story with a convicted felon and a hooker walking
that was a press conference. So how our journey started. So the day before, the evening before, we had votes. So immediately after votes, we get together, we jump on the train into New York. We didn't get there till about midnight. We arrived at the hotel not too far from Trump Tower. And, you know, it's kind of what you might expect, you know, in a bad way from, you know, New York City at midnight, but there's police cars everywhere. There's an ambulance. It turns out there'd been a domestic in the hotel. And so that's kind of how we were greeted as we arrived. But anyway, so we got checked on our rooms. We get up early the next morning, meet with the president in Trump Tower. What I can tell you was he was in great spirits. He's ready to fight. I mean, you saw, if you've been watching the news, it's a joke of a trial, and I'll get to that in a minute, but he's ready to fight, he's ready to win, and quite frankly, he's ready to debate Joe Biden. Now, I'm a little skeptical that that'll actually take place because I don't think Joe Biden will go through with it because, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, the president is smart, he's witty, he's focused, and he wants to win. He's ready to win. Joe Biden, I got to speak with him during the State of the Union, not as witty, not as bright. I'm not trying to be rude, just my own observations. But that being said, Trump would win a debate, and I don't know that the Biden team can afford that. But we'll see what happens. But now, fast forward, so we get into the motorcade, we go to the courthouse, we join the president in the courtroom for a couple hours, two and a half, whatever it was. And then the group of us, there was about 10, we go out and do a press gaggle or availability. Matt Gaetz was kind of the MC of the thing, and I got up and said my comments. Now, what's interesting about the trial itself is that the defense did a great job of putting their key witness going in a box. And, you know, he's perjured himself, he went to prison for it. And so what's interesting is that he is their key witness. He's not a supplemental witness. He's not a corroborating witness. He's the key witness. And so even CNN was talking about how he basically, the defense sank the prosecution's case yesterday. So I would expect that the hopefully fair-minded jurors of New York in this trial will acquit the president. But this is what I believe. This is truly election interference at its finest. They're trying to keep Donald Trump in that courtroom because every moment that he's in the courtroom, he's not out campaigning. And the left is panicked. Democrats are panicked because they know the Republicans, we're going to win the Senate. We're going to hold the House. And if the election were to held today, we would win the White House. And so they're in panic mode. And this is all about, this is lawfare. This is persecution at its finest on full display. If this was anybody else, this trial or this case would not have been brought to trial. But because it's Donald Trump, it's truly a persecution. And again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Whether you like Donald Trump or you don't, it should scare you that district attorneys and judges are conspiring to target an American citizen, a U.S. citizen, a former president of the United States. And if they can go after Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, they can come after you. We've got to get back to the rule of law, like following the law and closing our southern border, following the law and starting to deport people that are here illegally. They're called illegals for a reason. We've got to restore law and order and the idea that justice is blind. The court is blind and everybody gets treated equally. And right now, it's not. So I have a bill, the Let Trump Speak Act, which would lift the gag. It quite frankly would create a prohibition on the gag order and would create a right of action for Donald Trump or anyone else in that situation to sue if their rights are violated. So with that, have a great weekend. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Restoring the Republic.